Good evening, everybody, for another Bees All Day on a Monday night. Can everybody hear me okay? Um, Chris, Dennis, Clay, Block Farm, Kathy. I saw George in here somewhere. Dennis. There's Jeremy and Rodney. How you doing tonight, Rodney? Did you get that inventory done yet? Let's see who else. I saw Ann in here a minute ago. Um, who else is in here? Hmm. So did everybody get some rain over the weekend? We got plenty. Hey, Bill Lee, how are you tonight? Uh, we uh, we got plenty. Westcliff Honey, how are you tonight? We got plenty of rain here over the weekend. Tar Heel, how you doing? Uh, it rained most of the day Sunday, and it rained a little bit Saturday night. I think altogether we got about an inch and a half of rain total for the weekend. Um, So we've been doing pretty good on the rain department. Went down to work bees Saturday. They were a little bit grouchy, but then again, they sprayed a little sugar water on them, and they were fine after that. Um, did some combinations Saturday. Um, put some new queens in some of them, and moved on down the road. Everybody got fed. The ones we combined got bee bites. Trying to get them to produce some bees because they're a little low right now. So trying to get bees ready to go south. So how's everybody else doing tonight? Yeah, when I get time, I watch Keith on Block Farm. I watch Keith on Thursday night too. You're still waiting for your drops of rain in California, huh? I get it. So, Rodney, did you get some rain down there in Roanoke? Um, I don't, and I know some of it went south of us, but I'm not sure how far south it went. So, I know the heavy stuff went further south of us, but we got some pretty good rain. I mean, it rained for quite a while. So, yep. So it's been an interesting weekend. Hey, Joe, how are you tonight? I got your text the other day. Oh, you're getting rain in Carolina now? That's great. Yeah, we got about an inch and a half, Clay, is what we got. Not enough, but we'll take whatever we can get right now. Loosen the ground up a little bit. I will. So I will let you know, Joe. Definitely let you know. There's Keith. How you doing tonight, Keith? So what else is going on in the bee world that not a lot of people know about? Anybody got anything new? Well, DC, sounds like you're doing well. Yeah, supers. Joe put supers on. He finished finished adding them. Well, that's good. So I don't know if Charlie's coming tonight or not. I haven't heard from him all day. So let me text him and see what he's going to do. So Clay said he's got his roof patched, but it's not. He's going to be a little late. Yeah, he said he's going to be a little late tonight. That's good. Danny, how are you tonight? There's Judith. How are you tonight, Judith? Is Barry there with you? Or is he working tonight? I'm going to tell you what. This camera can't make its mind up whether it wants to see me or whether it wants me to disappear. So I wonder if it's worn out already. I hope not. Yes, I keep moving around because I can't get comfortable in the chair. Fit on a Harbor Freight hydraulic cart. Is that one like Charlie's got, Joe? Because I know Charlie's got one that goes up and down. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he's got a big max tank sitting on it, bottling tank sitting on it. So I don't know how big is your bottling tank. That's the question. Yeah, you can do that, Joe, but you're gonna have to disconnect it every now and then to clean the hoses and clean the pump on it. And it's really easy to clean. Should be it's either 6 or 8 screws holding the cover on the pump, so you can get down into it and clean it. And then we clean the hoses every other month or so. But that stays connected to our bottling tank as well. And word to the wise, you might want to put a quarter turn valve in line with that bottling tank to that pump so you can cut it off. Because when I first set mine up, I did not have the quarter turn valve and went to disconnect hoses and didn't have any way to cut the tank off to keep it from draining. Yeah, you're right, Danny. Fall's closing in quick. Yep. So it was the high today here was only supposed to be 83 and it got up to 92. So yeah, you can put a longer hose on it. Um, from the tank, from the bottling tank to the pump, you can put a longer hose on it. It'll still lift it. That's not the issue. So your tank doesn't have to be above the bottling machine. That bottling machine has like a 6 foot lift on that pump, 4 to 6 foot lift on the pump. So you should be fine setting it up on a table beside it. Just a longer hose. That's all. Let me try moving this camera a little bit. Yeah. Maybe it won't lose me as bad. Ah, okay. I understand now. Yeah, I've got a big enough stainless. Yeah, I got a big enough stainless steel table. I've got a double setup of a 7 and a 15 linked. They're tied together. And then when the 7 runs out, I cut the quarter turn valve off and open up the 15. There's no interruption in flow of honey from those two tanks to a bottler. And then I've got another 7 gallon bottling tank sitting there beside them with another bottling machine beside that does all my flavors. So I have to clean the 7 gallon head on a regular basis to get the flavors out of it. I did some espresso honey over the weekend. So vanilla latte. That verdict is still out on how that turned out. So I'm kind of letting the flavor build in a heater, keeping it warm so it can build. And then tomorrow I'll go in and check it and see how it turned out. So we'll see how it goes. Hey, James. Well, DC, it sounds like you're all set, buddy. Anybody else got anything new going on? Oh, Eric, how's everything in the big state of Colorado? Yeah, Danny, I use a round one. It's typically cooler than the fencing veil. Yeah, that's a good thing, keeping the alfalfa flow going. I'm surprised they haven't cut it yet. A lot of people like the round veils, and we sell a lot of them. A lot of round veils. Is that a plastic zipper or is it a metal zipper, Block Farm? Hello, Hanley Homestead. How are you tonight? It's plastic. It's all in personal taste, DC. Take care of the plastic. They last just as long as the metal. Everybody got all their honey pulled yet? I know some people will wait till a little bit later, but how much honey did you end up getting, DC? Okay. Hey, Mark, how are you tonight? Do you get much of a goldenrod flow down over out there where you're at? And we don't get any here. No goldenrod whatsoever. At least right here in this general area. I mean, Shenandoah County may get some, but yeah. Mark, you're like me. It's hey Barnhill. The farmers around here spray for it, so they've just about put it out of existence around here. Yeah. Haven't seen you in a while, Barnhill. Yeah, Barnhill makes equipment. I forgot about that. Well, it's a good thing, Hansley, that you're going to get some kind of fall flow. Yeah, all we have here for fall flow is sunflowers and buckwheat. Oh, there's Charlie.
Hey,
Man of the hour.
yep.
How are you tonight?
Well, not too bad. We got some rain.
Yeah, it's been kind of drizzly, nasty around here all day, and we got 1.5 inches over the weekend, so I'm happy about that.
It rained about started about 4:30 and quit about 5:30, and it was pretty much humid and sunny sunny and cloudy for most of the day. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Mark and Jeremy and Eric and hey, George. And all that. And hey, Keith. Yep. So I was on another, I guess it was not a StreamYard, a Zoom meeting with Adam Hickman, who he helped do that new beekeeping movie that's out, as far as a bee wrangler for the movie set.
Yeah.
All that. He was at the bee club I belong over in Pennsylvania. He was speaking about that and stuff. Interesting. All the shots and stuff that you had to do. And all that.
Yeah, is that the one with Matthew McConaughey in it?
Yeah, I guess that's who the guy's name is. Hey, Keith, and Randy and Bill, DC. Yeah, he talked about how they did certain shots and things of that nature.
Yeah, I was listening to an interview with him this morning. It showed a picture of him after he got stung in the face. And he was saying, oh, that was such a severe reaction.
Actually, he got stung up on top of his head. And then And then he reacted, his body reacted to it for like about an hour later.
Yeah.
Which in turn, I guess they used that shot of him picture, and that was a real big publicity, I guess you would call it.
Yeah. Yep.
All that stuff.
He was saying he had fun making the movie, though.
Yeah. Let's see. Where's Rob? There's Rob. Okay.
There he is.
Anyway, went through the bees Saturday, and some of them got fed, and some of them didn't. And I put a lot of them got bee bites.
Yeah.
And all that. And I guess that was about it.
Yeah, we went through bees on Saturday and combined 6, I believe it was 6 hives, put some new queens in, fed everybody, gave the combinations of bee bites and everything. I'm doing splits tomorrow. Friend of mine's coming over, give me a hand doing some splits. I've got 10 or so to do. So we'll get as many of them done as we can before it gets hot. So
I think it's supposed to get humidity is supposed to go down.
Yeah, they're saying it's only going to be 81 here tomorrow, but they were saying this morning it was only going to be 84 here today, and it ended up being over 90 degrees. So
it's 74 right now, but I think it was, I don't know, it was more humidity than anything else.
Yeah.
So my brother got back from vacation and kind of back. Hey, Rodney.
Hey, Rodney.
Haven't seen you for quite a while. And anyway, we were back back to normal, I guess you would call it. Delivered some firewood, delivered some boards and stuff like that as far as the mill goes. My son was thinking about cutting some hay, but everything was cloudy, overcast till about 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Yep.
And then 4:30, the storms were rolling in, and where we live, we got you could see it on the radar, a storm, I call it a storm cloud, came over, and we got probably, I don't know. Well, Saturday night, we got some rain, got about a little over an inch Saturday. And then today, there's probably another inch out there today.
That's good.
So
make that grass strong.
Yeah, the one behind me there is jumping good. We just got some second cutting in some other fields. We'd like to get it cut and get it done, more or less.
Yeah.
But it's not going to happen this week. It's supposed to have 30-50% chances of rain the rest of the week and all that. But the bees are in good shape. Some of the hives, I didn't even do anything. The last 2 hives down on the end of that row, they were just busting with bees.
Yeah.
And hey, Ann. And that was extraordinary. And tree
fell right between them.
Not bad at all. A branch.
Yeah.
So I just opened them up and looked at them, and they were, everything was covered with bees. I'm like, and then they had bearding on the front and all. And I'm like, all right, you guys are fine. Well, we're talking about hay fields there, Hanlon or PJ. But anyway, that's where we've been at.
Yeah.
And bees are looking good. The ones I put some queens in are coming along. I had one hive that I was concerned about, but
Yeah.
I did see eggs. I did see cat brood kind of like off to the left side of the hive. And I said, well, as long as I see that, I'm not going any farther. And and that kind of thing. I had one of those hives that I had a queen in there where she's laying up and I'm feeding them, and I had put a pound of bee bite. They had it's been in there for 7 days. I'll say that most of it was ate up. Yeah, I'm surprised that I actually did see some left, mostly on the top of the frames.
Yeah.
And, but I took my hive tool and just it was like a little bit of paper on top where I just kind of cut the paper and pulled the frames up, and everything is just laid up
Oh yeah.
corner to corner. I'm like, everything's fine here. I didn't give them any more. They'll have plenty of food there. And then a couple nukes that I had made up. I seen the queens in both. They both have some eggs, I think, in there. And I had given them, I'll say, a third of a bee bite last week, and that was totally gone. And
Yeah.
then
We
this week I just cut a bee bite in half where it would fill the whole top of the 5 frame
yeah.
nuke, and on the front half of it, and I just put that in there for them. And then I did have one nuke that I had put an extra box on top, but they really just didn't have the bees to fill that top box. So I took that off, shook any stray bees off, and I put that bee bite on there, put the inner cover, put a quart jar, which is more direct for them to get fed, because you could tell the combs were, even though they had food up in another box, seemed like the bottom combs were just, they weren't damp or they weren't wet.
Yep.
And
We
I, and I
found
did find another nuke in there that I had 3 boxes on there, and that sucker was, queens were doing great, and now I'm down just to one medium box, maybe 2 or 3 frames of bees.
Huh.
And there's eggs in there, and I'm like, I couldn't find her though, and I'm like, what's the deal here?
Sounds like they swarm.
Mm, no, I mean there wasn't. It was just like there was like two medium boxes full of nothing.
Huh.
So don't matter. I've got an extra queen there anyway, so it'll fill the hole up.
Yeah. So I don't know if anybody's seen this yet or not, but Tom and Melissa put a post on Facebook for No Life Beekeepers dinner with a survey of for the Hives for Hero dinner and the No Life Beekeeper dinner for Friday night. So they're taking a poll, and they want to know if you plan on attending. Please find that on Facebook and do that poll for them so they can make plans for that dinner. Thank you. Yeah, we were in bees, and the ones we combined had no queens. So don't know what happened to the queen. Box full of bees, no queen. Search the box, search the bottom board, search the sides of the hive body, everything. Nothing. A little bit of older brood, a little bit of cat brood, but no queen anywhere. Could not find her anywhere. Even left it and came back to a couple of them because I wasn't sure. So there was no queen. So we put in queens this weekend, combined them and combined 6 and put in queens on Saturday. Dropped a bee bite on them, half a pound of bee bite and a fresh bucket of light syrup. Yes, the knobby dinner, DC. And did that, and then there's still a couple that I want to requeen because the queen last month when we checked them, when I went down and checked and dug through them, it looked like she wasn't laying very well. So I'm gonna put fresh queens in them, and tomorrow I'm doing splits. So
All right. I'm here on Facebook about the poll, and Bev Stevens tried to check more than one spot, and Melissa said you were supposed to be able to select multi options. She's going to check into it, and I tried to check multiple. All the things that she has listed, um, I tried to check and it only would allow me one. So
yeah,
maybe she has to redo it
yeah,
because there's one, two, three, four. There's four dinners that I would be interested in. So we'll have to check into that later. Or check back in a day or two and find out and all that.
yeah,
So that's the only thing I can see updated about it.
yeah. So that's plans for this week, for tomorrow.
So are you splitting and making more individual 10 framers, or are you putting
Yeah.
those on pallets?
If you look over my left shoulder, there's two rows. See the front row of the nails?
You mean the white hives?
Yeah, the ones in front. And then that one on the end. And then that middle row right behind them.
Mm-hmm.
And then that third row right there behind them.
Mm-hmm.
And the fourth row behind them. They're all 8 frames with double Ds. So they're going to get split into 10 frames. And put on pallets. So I've gotten some of them done already. That third row that had the little hives on it, those have already been put in 10 frames. So I've got row 2 and row 4 to do.
Did you find it, Ann? No Life Beekeepers. That's the name of the Facebook page.
Yep, No Life Beekeepers.
Find it and also become a member.
Yep.
Because then on that Facebook page, I'm sure Tom and Melissa will be posting to get your free ticket and also to be able to donate towards that dinner in order to help pay for it.
Yeah.
Pay for the venue, pay for the food, because all that stuff. Hey, Brad or Brian.
Hey, Brian, how are you tonight?
Hey, Clay. Let's see what else we have going on there.
And so it's time for ice cream, Charlie.
Yep. And Eric says he just checked again, and it let me check more than one, but didn't record any of them. Try it again later.
That's
Eric,
got to go with
Eric,
another
you might
company.
want to post on the Facebook page and let Melissa know that.
Yeah. Hansley, I don't know the dates of the expo. What are the dates of the expo, Charlie?
Give me a couple seconds here. Let's see. That's what Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right?
Yep.
It is the 7th, 8th, and 9th
Of January.
for January. Yep. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. 7th,
Yep.
8th, and 9th. Hopefully it doesn't snow.
So, Rodney, did you have a good birthday dinner?
So, DC, if you're living in your trailer, have you got it at a campground or something? And what are you going to do about your bees? Did you move them to that other guy's place? Yeah, Wednesday night is a no life beekeeper, so that would be on the 6th. I'll be arriving on Tuesday evening on the 5th.
Who's that?
Me. And not, I always arrive the day ahead of time.
Oh.
That way, for me, it takes me 12 hours to get there. So by 4:30, 5 o'clock, when you get there, you need an evening to chill out.
Yeah.
So DC, how many acres was it with that house that your mother had?
$10 acres, Charlie. That's a lot of acreage.
Yeah. Yeah, Eric. I'll be here on the 5th myself, so we can volunteer to set things up on the 6th. That's what we did last year. Got there and helped set tables up about 4 in the afternoon, something like that, I think it was.
Yeah, 10 acres, a lot of ground.
Depends on what kind of acres.
That's
Hey,
true.
Todd,
There's Todd.
we talking woods or we talking fields?
Yeah. So was it open ground DC or wooded acres?
Mostly pasture field.
Uh,
So I presume DC's parents passed away, right? Or mother did?
I don't know.
I don't know. It sounded like to me he was forced to sell or whatever. Probably by the. All right, Todd. As far as I know, I haven't talked to Zach for a while, so I don't know whether he's actually doing anything or not.
I don't know.
Oh, Dinah's house sitting.
That sounds like fun, Donna.
Now, did you let the dog race around the house 6 times like you did the last time?
Yeah, Tom, we're a motley crew, buddy.
Hey, Tom, we've been talking about the Facebook page for the dinner. One, it was not letting to choose multiple selections, and then I forget who it was in here, just tried it. You could do multiple selections, but it would not record your selections.
It was Eric.
Huh?
That was Eric.
That was Eric. Just let Melissa know.
No, that doesn't count. She contained the greyhound.
Yeah.
How did you contain the greyhound?
You put him in a dog cage. All right, Kathy, yours pulling through. Then I'm going to jump over here and see whether I can do it or not. Uh,
Oh,
um, well, mine sure doesn't. I must have to recycle it and see. Mine didn't go through.
Tom, it sounds like Melissa's got some work to do.
I can't get it to take multiple selections.
Hmm. There's the third wheel of the Motley Crew.
Kathy says you have to put something in the comment also.
Melissa said she'll pull that one down and then do it again and see why it's not
Okay.
multiple. So, you know what's interesting is nobody is echoing. I wasn't on many of the chats toward the end of last week because we were.
Now you've jinxed us.
I hope not. Am I echoing?
No, not yet.
I like your positivity. You feel like it's going to happen.
Hey, somebody's got to, right?
I suppose so. I think that StreamYard had some sort of a big issue with that on their noise canceling or their echo canceling thing. And I feel like they must have gotten it squared away, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Must have.
That's good. Yeah, I guess Melissa has already started to work a little bit on. I know I've seen a few emails come through over the last week or week and a half on some of the restaurants around the area that she was trying to get some feedback from, trying to understand a little better what we could do. Like, for instance, if we wanted to go back to the hibachi grill, there was a room. Charlie, you may know this. Bill, you may know this. I think it was behind where you guys were sitting, if I'm not mistaken. There's a large room with two big hibachi stations, I guess.
Yeah.
And they said that we could have that.
The bathroom was off to the left. I do know that where we were sitting.
Off to the left from the direction you were sitting, I think, yes.
Yeah, where I'm facing, it would be my left if I was facing the front of the building. And then, like you say, I think there's a doorway off to the right-hand side behind us.
I think there was, if I remember right. I think there was.
They sent me pictures of the room. They can seat 30 plus. They can put a few tables in there.
Melissa said that room can seat 30 plus, and they can also put some additional tables in there. So
Well, we
like,
had about,
actually,
what did we have between the two stations out front was at least around 30, wasn't it?
probably close. I don't think it was quite, but I think it was close. Yes.
Yeah. And then
Don't be a party
for
pooper.
you guys, I seen that one of the choices was going to the no light or the what's it called? Highs for Heroes.
Matthew Booth put that up there. He added to that. Melissa didn't add that on there. I think he was trying to get an idea as well. I mean, I guess it almost seems a little bit premature and early, but if you think about it, we're halfway through August, and before you know it, Thanksgiving's going to be here.
Yeah, you're right.
If there's interest, I can make the reservation.
Yeah. So Melissa had just said to me she is trying to see if there is interest, so she can make the reservations. So that if everybody does want to go to the same place in an evening, at least they can accommodate, and we can get good service. So.
Just it's nice to where we keep as a we're a smaller group, like at your conference too, where we can all kind of travel every night of the week, where it makes the whole conference experience even better.
Yeah, absolutely. Giving the restaurants or places like that a good heads up is always it's always positive to do so. Otherwise, it'll kind of get haywire, and we may all not get to sit in the same spot. So, yeah.
Done in about a half hour.
Yep, Eric, you're absolutely right. Getting things kind of starting to line out for the winter season, if you will. Things will start to book up quickly, I'm sure. Yeah, there would be basically something to do every night from Wednesday night all the way through Saturday night.
What's Timu? Dots.
Timu, he's being sarcastic.
I was wondering whether that was a chef guy that was we had that chef guy that we had. He was pretty funny.
Temu is basically like the Chinese Amazon. You can get everything junk for
Yeah, I've seen all that.
Yeah.
I've clicked on that, and I don't know. They had every piece of junk there ever was. I mean, I tell you, it's like there's a couple guys on YouTube that went out and bought these Chinese mini X's, and I'm like, really?
Mm-hmm.
You know, says, I know one guy that went over to a major auction company, and they were the shears, you know, like a place like a junkyard would have to cut stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sure.
And they went over there and bought a brand new shear, Chinese, and paid, you know, new one's like 40 grand, and they paid 20,000. It cut 4 times and broke right in half.
Doesn't surprise me.
They couldn't do anything about it. They lost 20 grand.
Well, we all know that China is really good at taking some amazing innovation from Americans, reverse engineering it, making it as cheap as possible, and then selling it back to us, and we're gullible enough to buy it. So,
Yep.
you know where we're at right now. Yeah, DC, that's great to hear. It'd be amazing to have you out there in Louisville. And yeah, we'll just go party back at DC's travel trailer. I'm just saying, if you get all of us in that travel trailer, it may not be roadworthy after we're done. So
It may not.
I think Bill usually brings bail money every year. So
I think DC needs to fly in.
No, I won't have the bail money this year. My wife will have the bail money.
Yes, very wise. That's right. Hey, Randy, how's it going? Yeah. Oh, hey, for those who don't know, I mentioned it once before, but Randy Tar Heel Beekeeper is going to have wax tip equipment at Nobby. He has his own booth coming. So if you guys are interested in wax tip boxes, he'll have them there. I would imagine, I don't think he has as of yet, because I don't know, spoke with him maybe a week or two, probably 2 weeks ago, and he didn't have any of the pricing set yet, nor did he have any of the pre-order stuff in place. But I think that was something that was on his list to do. So we'll be able to pay attention to that moving forward. I'm sure that probably, I would guess, probably sometime after Thanksgiving or thereabouts, maybe before, I would imagine you're going to see a lot of vendors are going to start to advertise their wares and their sales and their products and that good jazz moving forward. So
I'm still getting emails
are you
begging me to come back as a vendor
really?
because they don't have enough vendors.
Yeah. Well, it sounded like they had increased. I don't remember how much they increased, a third or something like that, or half on the showroom
at
floor.
least.
Maybe.
Yeah, at least. But they also increased vendor prices.
Yeah. I would be curious to know year over year what that increase looks like. I'm sure there is some. I know with the ENBA event, we've held it in this spot now. It'll be third year running. And each year they seem to do pretty well off of us. And I almost feel like they get a little greedy. You know, kind of like, hey, you know, this was a pretty good event. We did pretty good, but you know what? Let's see if we can, you know, get a little more money here. So I'm kind of wondering what the venue spaces do to them year over year. I know that's the largest space probably anywhere in Midwest, maybe even, well, maybe there might be a couple larger spaces in the U.S. for.
So I've been a vendor down there 3 years. I was a vendor down there for 3 years.
Yeah.
The first year, my booth cost me $275. It was a double booth.
And what size was that?
It was 20 by whatever deep they were.
10, I think. Is that right?
10
yeah.
I think.
10 by 20.
Okay, so 200 square feet.
Yep. So it was $275.
Mm-hmm.
The electricity hookup was $75.
Mm-hmm.
And internet was free.
Okay.
Second year, same size booth. It went up to $350.
Okay.
Electric hookup went up to $100.
So
Internet
$100 more into it.
The internet was not free. It was $125.
Mm-hmm.
The internet.
So you're about 2.25 higher than the previous
Yep.
year. What it sounds like?
Last year,
Now, was that at
Nobby.
Nobby or
Nobby.
not
Nobby.
at Hive Life?
That was Nobby.
Okay.
The last year I had a bigger booth. My booth cost was over $1,000. The electric was $275 just for somebody to plug in 2 cords.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do anything else but plug in 2 cords.
Yeah, that's the
it.
union there. I'm sure. I'm
And
certain of it.
I've always had 2 electric cords.
Mm-hmm.
I did not use internet last year because I had my own hotspot.
Okay.
But if I had have gotten internet, it was over $200.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Did you have pretty good hotspot service inside the building?
I did because I was close to the back doors.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Very good.
I had to pay $15 per pallet for storage.
Mm-hmm.
I had 6 pallets. And I brought my own pallet jack.
Would they unload your freight at no cost, or was there additional cost for that?
There was a cost for that. So I got down there 2 days early
Mm-hmm.
to meet the truck to unload my freight.
Sure.
So last year I did sell out, but I did not break even. I lost money. And every year you got to add meal costs, hotel costs, fuel, transportation, all that into it. So
Yeah.
I've never made money at Nobby. Never.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Mark probably highlights what he said there. Basically, vendors don't make anything; they get the exposure.
Sometimes the exposure is not worth it. It
I
really
noticed
isn't.
that this is not the same scale that you're talking about here, Bill, and I realize that. But Melissa and I have done events before too that, you know, they were kind of a lose situation, and you're like,
Yeah.
Sometimes I've gotten things out of it like contacts or, mainly contacts. I view those as a positive asset moving forward if you're going to be in business for a while.
Yeah.
Usually that's the goal, but I understand.
Yeah. I mean, almost everybody that bought from me down at Nobby was an existing customer. I think I got 4 new customer contacts out of the whole deal.
Hey, Bill, look in your bright side. You got to see and visit with Sawmill Charlie. Everybody gets to do that.
And then later he got to travel with me, or I got to travel.
Yeah, we got to travel together.
The Sawmill Charlie.
And he also got me to chauffeur for him for a while.
See? And all that.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, you're talking about that, Bill, and everybody, and I talked to a machinery salesman. It was this time last year. Last week was Ag Progress Days, which is up at State College, PA, where they have all this farm machinery, mostly big stuff. There's State College, PA is where the State College is, and they also have a farm agricultural experimental hundreds of acres up there, with cattle or growing different plots of food or, corn and things like that. But anyway, there's a fairground up there, and they will grow either small grain or corn or something, and they will bring these brand new machines in. It's kind of like they're demonstrating, 3 different, a John Deere, a Klaus combine, and an International. Yep. And you get to watch them side by side going down through the roads to see maybe who goes the fastest or whatever. And that kind of stuff. But the guy was saying, he said, this was last year, he said, the crowd, or here comes the people when it's supposed to be for, let's say, somebody like my son would go there and say, yeah, I'm interested in a certain type of piece of machinery. And they would get to watch different makes at the same place, or look them over, or talk to the salespeople, and then maybe, buy it. And later, either there or at wherever the dealership may be. And he was saying that most of the people that were there last year were retired, I'll say, farmers. I don't know why this camera's going crazy. That it costs, we're talking low boys of, several, from one dealership, they might bring in 4 or 5 tractor and trailer low boys of equipment and place it on display. Come on. What is wrong with this thing? And
Charlie's having the same trouble I had at the beginning.
there it comes back. It cost that company thousands and thousands of dollars just to move the stuff there. And I don't know what they pay for a venue spot. And anyway, they said, by the salesman's opinion, he said he went up for just the one day. He said, I just waste my time going up there because there's nobody really wanting to buy. It's more of a show to put on for the people and all. But now DC there, he says interaction with you. That's why he's bought stuff from you.
Yeah.
I think that's more because of the talk show than it is because of Navi.
Right. Exactly.
But and like my son told the one guy here, I think it was this year, was he going to go up to that? Because it's about 2.5 hours from our house. And he said, no. He says, I'll wait till the wintertime, which is the same weekend as Navi, right up 45 minutes from my house at an inside fair complex. And so we can walk around on the inside of a building where it's warm and see everything within 45 minutes from home and that kind of thing. So
yeah, you mean the New Holland Farm Show or the Pennsylvania Farm Show?
That's not that's up in Harrisburg. It's actually the Dairyman's Farm Show. The Pennsylvania Farm Show, which was in Harrisburg, has become more of the general public fair where it's horses and different things. They have so many different buildings up there, but the machinery have pretty much packed up and left.
Yeah, that used to be the New Holland Farm Show up there.
Yeah, they used to be big, but not anymore. The last time I was there was with the kids, and I think they had a combine and a couple tractors, and that was all the machinery that was there. Wow. Everything else went down to only 45 minutes from the house at York. Yeah. And it's the Dairyman Show. Yeah. I think that's how they have it. Whereas it's for farmers and only for farmers. Anybody can go, but it's geared just for them. And it's all machinery and all about dairy products, dairy cattle, feed and process and whatever else that they do for dairies, robotic cleaning things for the dairy barn and stuff. So anyway.
Yeah.
So did you get out into your bees, Tom? You said you were going to do that last week and check on them or do something. I forget what it was.
So I haven't gotten them since last week. I don't remember what day it was. We left Thursday morning to go down to Sedalia, which is about 3 hours west of us, where the state fair is held every year. And the Missouri State Beekeepers Association has a booth there. So since Melissa and I are board members, we spent a couple days down there Thursday, Friday, and left Saturday morning. Stayed at a friend's cabin south of there. So we didn't get back until we rolled back into, we had an event, Threshers Tractor Club show that was about an hour north of us. We do for an old timer that's a pretty good friend of mine that we keep bees on his property. That comes around every year at the same time. So we always tell him we'll do it. It's kind of one of those things like Bill was talking about. Do I make money? Not really. But for me, it's just a community outreach thing. We take bees, educational things, and donate gift baskets
Did you sell honey there, or the
we did.
clubs?
Yeah. We
did our
sold
local. We did our local fair here. I don't know, whenever it was, last month, and I think the club made over $1,200, something like that, and then the club members were consigning. So the club members made money and the club made money and all that.
Oh, so we didn't have our honey at the state fair. The State Beekeepers Association was selling honey and stuff there. So, and then that state fair goes on for
that's the state. They don't consign honey from beekeepers. The state.
So they do. They do. I'm not willing to sell it for what they're consigning, and I know what the numbers are. I won't do it. I mean, if I had an extra 5,000 pounds and I want to get rid of it, sure. But
what do they sell it at the fair for? Retail?
Oh,
$15.
I don't remember. Melissa, what was that?
I don't recall.
I don't know. I can't remember, honestly, Charlie.
They have a bunch of different items.
Yeah, they have several different items. They have liquid honey in different sizes, cut comb, honey straws, different flavors of that. Freeze-dried honey ice cream.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I've been in where at the state fair, there's this one club that pretty much has ran it for years, but they have multiple weekend time slots. So they give them out to different clubs, and then they help sell the honey that they have, and then they get a percentage from the sales. And then there is some consignment stuff. And I think it's like if you consign a pound of honey, I'll say you're going to get $10 and they're going to get, they're going to retail it at 15 or something.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that neighborhood. It's pretty good for somebody that's not selling a lot of honey. But anyway.
Joey's in the chat. What did he give away Saturday night anyway?
What's that?
What did he give away Saturday night?
I don't know. All I know is I was tired at the end of the day and I went to bed early that night.
Yeah.
Hey, Dodd, what were you doing in my backyard? You never sent me an email to ask for permission and I never granted.
A bee brush.
Oh, okay.
A bee flicker.
Was it autographed?
Hey, you guys want to know what a bee brush is good for? Make it mad. Bee brush.
I'm afraid to ask.
Yeah. Come on, Bill. I always keep it PG here. A bee brush is really good at making bees mad. If you want to make bees mad, brush them off. Roll them like that. Roll them across the honey frame.
Yeah.
You have to. It's a bee, not a bee brush. It's a bee flicker. You have to flick.
You got to just kind of like you're sweeping the farmhouse floor, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that really pisses them off.
I use it when I'm queen rearing. Of course, I'm like you say, I'm flicking them off.
See, even DC says it too.
Yeah, that's right, Mark. That's what I do. Flick them off with it when I'm doing queen cells. You know what was interesting? And maybe it's just because of us group here on this chat, the level that we are at. Whereas I was on that other chat and it's, I'll say, good portion number 2-year beginner beekeepers, I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about that movie and Adam Hickman, from down at the bee, he was on that set advising them how to do all this different stuff.
Foxhound,
him and Yappy and all of them. But the one girl asked something about the hot room and about heating she didn't understand what a hot room's for. Of course, I don't think Adam really explained it clearly enough
Sure.
that, you know, you heat the combs up in order for the honey to fling out even easier. Obviously, they don't watch Bob Benny because he has he shows that hot room all the time.
Yeah.
And all that, but it was just.
Yeah, I seen some of the Facebook postings about it. I haven't seen the movie, don't know much about anything about what's going on. I never read into any detail on any of that stuff. You know, Melissa and I actually have only seen 2 movies probably since COVID. We used to go as a fairly regular, you know, date night on weekends, go to dinner, see a movie, relax, things like that. And honestly, when COVID did it, we kind of put the kibosh on it. We've only seen a couple since then. She says, well, there's never any good movies in there. And I'm like, maybe. I'm like, we just don't look either. So maybe we'll have to go see that one, though. So, Dodd, did you enjoy the movie, and did your wife enjoy the movie? You know, it's funny, like when you see a movie that is about bees or beekeeping, then you kind of pick apart some of the little things that are in there about bees or facts that they put in there or inner workings of things. And you're like, well, that's not accurate. You know what I mean? It's kind of funny how we all do that. What reminded me of that is Mark Zenner's comment there. Melissa always attributes, or when people ask about, you guys remember the little cartoon? What was that most called? The Bee Movie? I think it's called the Bee Movie, the cartoon where the males go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
With, what's his name?
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld's in it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fun movie, right? I mean, I'm not.
Was that the one where they're going? Well, we'll take after graduating, they're going to walk around the hive or something like that. Like,
I don't remember. Could be. It might be. It's
maybe. I don't know. But it was the cartoon movie. It was all animated.
It was a fun movie. If anybody's interested, go watch the Bee Movie. It's a little animated cartoon. It's a fun one, you know.
Everything's absolutely wrong in it, but it is a fun movie.
Melissa's like, everything is wrong in it, but it's a fun movie.
Yeah, that was where he got sucked through the ventilation thing, and there's a dead bee over here going, I got you now.
Yeah, he's in that woman's apartment or on her patio having tea or something with her.
Something like that. Yeah. It's been a while since I watched it.
Yeah.
And then what about the movie called The Beekeeper with
Jason Statham?
Jason Statham. I love Jason Statham. I love those movies that he's typically in. And I don't know, that movie was fun because it's kind of, you know, getting retribution for the underdog kind of thing. So how can you not like that? You know? But a typical Jason Statham movie. I've heard after the movie came out, and people would ask about things, and you're the beekeeper. And of course, as a joke, people are like, oh, well, is anything like the movie, The Beekeeper? And I'm like, well, you never know. So. And
then there was one that a guy did back during COVID in England. He did it in his backyard. And he recorded, I don't know how many different species of bees living in his backyard.
Mm-hmm.
It's me again, Joey.
Whoa, look at this guy.
How are you tonight?
I'm pretty good. How about y'all?
Good.
Sorry we missed you on Saturday, Joey. Melissa had me tied up.
No, you ain't. Don't even start.
She had you tied up, Tom?
Yeah, she had me tied up. You know,
I thought she was the one that had the collar on.
She's standing within ears of listening distance in the kitchen over here, shaking her head.
I want
you got to be careful what you post on Facebook.
I have to say that.
Yeah,
guys, really were. I mean, that was some good the whole. Halloween.
Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't get what you were saying at first, Charlie. I understand where you're going with that. So that was Brian Coper, by the way. Brian Coper started that.
There it is. There it is, right there.
Is that AI or is that something that you guys did for Halloween?
Oh, no. That was not me. That was my original profile picture that Brian Coper, Castle Hives, took and doctored up. First, he doctored up mine and left Melissa's alone, posted it that night. So as a joke, I posted it as my profile picture. And most people who know me, they understand that I'm just not that serious on Facebook. It's just, you're probably not going to get that out of me. Some people who don't know me well were like, oh, wow. And I think that they were wondering if I had dressed up like that. Well, for anybody who doesn't know me well enough, I've never dressed up like that. And it's probably safe to say I never will. But then the next day after I posted that, or 2 days later, Brian Coper doctors up Melissa's. I'm assuming it's AI, and then post the picture. So then I changed my profile again. So Melissa and I had that for a couple of days. So anyway, I mean, I'm not really into that look, but Melissa's pretty hot. So
speak of the devil, and he shall rear his head.
I
He's
agree.
in the chat.
She's real.
yeah, there he is. There he is. Castle Hives. He doctored up my profile pics. Thanks, Brian. It really got a lot of attention, and people enjoyed it. It was a fun attention grabber on Facebook.
Clay says you've ruined your reputation, Tom.
Yeah,
Clean cut Midwestern guy.
I mean, there was one year for Halloween. I did dress up as a pirate and have like a do-rag on with like a tattered up shirt, and then I did have eyeliner under my eyes. And I put like made my beard a little bit black. What did I use? Like mascara or something?
I don't know.
Or maybe
you
some.
put an earring in too.
Yeah, and I put I put an earring in. So I had an earring when I was in high school, and actually not in high school, beyond high school, and for I don't know, a handful of years for the heck of it.
So
And,
I actually thought that was you and Melissa dressing up for Halloween one year is what I thought.
Oh no, we do have another picture of us dressed up. I should post that as a profile picture at some point. That's actually pretty good. It doesn't look quite like that kind of makeup though. But who knows? Maybe we would show up to an event somewhere dressed like that.
There you go.
You'll have to see.
No, that's what I thought it was. It was a Halloween costume dress up thing.
Hey, Country Roads. So Todd had said, hey, you can't get into California. When I had put my profile picture back to a normal picture, he had said, hey, you can't get into California looking like that. You need to go back to the other, which I thought was pretty hilarious.
Sound like the submarine was pinging us.
It did, didn't it? Sound like sonar going off.
That's my alert for something's being some motions back at the shop. It's probably an animal.
I was waiting for somebody to say dive, dive.
Nah.
Ooga, ooga.
There he is.
There he
Mr.
is.
California himself.
That's
Mr.
right.
Todd.
You mean they actually let you grow a beard in California, Todd?
That's a milk mustache.
All right, you guys.
Hey, Jake.
Do they tax you per hair, or is it just one flat tax for that?
To get in the state?
No, for the beard.
Oh, I thought you were. I was on a little delay with my earpiece.
You probably had to claim it, Bill, and you can't.
Tom,
Tom,
you're just jealous.
One more
Tom,
time.
You're just jealous because you can't grow it right here and down around here. So let's just leave it at that. But you could catch up to me though.
I think I'm ahead of you.
Yeah, a little. You and Joey and Charlie's.
Yeah, see, I got it's all growing in back here now. I shaved about a week ago. It's already grown back.
Hey guys, I'll be right back here in a second.
Well, I'll tell you.
Thanks for the warning, Tom.
I had to jump on to thank Charlie for that that video a couple weeks ago. It's a thing of gold. with the pollen.
Oh, you
frame.
mean the my saving money and time?
The
My
pollen frames.
my beekeeping breakthrough. I almost have 4,000 views on that thing. It's the most viewed thing I got. Does it work? Does it?
It works. It works. Now, there is something funny. I had pollen frames. I looked at it. They just looked like they had all pollen in there, and I had maybe one or two little, look like little termite poop on the side. Just minimal tunneling. Well, when I pulled them out and started spraying them down, you'd be surprised at how many worms were underneath that pollen, and you didn't know they were there.
You mean wax worms?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
The
yeah.
only thing that I noticed when I was washing them out, that it loosened up some of the layers of the cocoons,
Yeah.
and that it's like little butterfly wings kind of sticking out there where the water might have hit it or whatever.
Hey, thanks, Roy. I'm pretty proud of it. Maybe that's why my throat's kind of got a frog in it, because maybe I'm starting to.
His voice
get
is
that
changing.
deep. I'm getting that deep voice.
Now, the only thing that I've changed up since that video is I put a cup of bleach in, and I think it holds, let's see, 10. Yeah, there's 12 frames in that tub. It's a 26-gallon tub. And I fill it up. Well, I put 2 boards down on top of the frames because they're shoulder to shoulder. And then I have like a 3x3 or 3.5 by 3.5 cement block that's like a lintel, and there's 2 of them, and they're pretty darn weighty. Put them on top of that, and I fill it up with water, put the bleach in, let the hose kind of mix that bleach in with the water, and I fill it up to about at least an inch above the frames, and just let it sit there. And now it sits alongside the house. Yeah, it gets in the sun during the day and bakes a little bit. And I mean, it is the black tub too, but I don't see where that really does a whole lot as far as the baking part.
Yeah.
And but you got to do it at least for 5 days.
Yeah.
And most of the time I'm usually washing them on day 6, and all that. And
I did mine in 7 days, and I did
7
frames.
works too.
Yeah.
7 works too.
But I'm going to make adjustments. So I probably put in a half a cup of bleach. I'm going to put in those tablets that I was telling you about and try one with that. But the big thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to put 11 frames in there. I'm going to probably put 10, not because I have 10 frame boxes. I run 8s. But when you take that weight or whatever you use to put on top of them to keep them down underneath the water, when you take that up, they'll float up to the surface and they'll start kind of rocking to one side.
That's right.
When they're wet like that, those end bars, if they bump into that wax, it'll not chew it up, but it'll dent it in pretty good. So
I've never really had, I mean, mine, like you say, you take the things off and the boards off, and they kind of come up and they lay over, and I just, they're just floating in the water, but I've never had them, the wax is super soft. I'll have to say that.
Yeah.
And you got to watch don't do a straight stream, because you'll blow the wax off. You got to do a sort of a fog pattern.
Now, I did mine were all deep frames. And so what I did was I had my lawnmower in the backyard, and I have some ground cover, and I laid it on the side of I covered most of the mower. And what I did was I laid a board down on the grass because I knew I was going to make a mess. I put the frame, the end of that frame, I leaned it up against the mower that's covered, and I stood back about 5 feet, and I sprayed it with a little smaller cone. It basically fit the inside. Well, it was just a little smaller than the foundation itself. And I just went up and down, backwards, sideways, whatever ways, and did it like that. And a couple of times I did go full blast, but standing back far enough, it didn't do a ton of damage. It did a little damage where some of those wax moths were at, where they burrowed. But you know what? It won't take much for those bees to fix it compared to putting a fresh piece of foundation in there, you know?
Yeah.
So I just want to publicly thank you, Charlie, because that I can't tell you how much time that's going to save me from sitting there and scraping wax off of those stupid things.
Yeah. Hope says he puts dish detergent after filling the tub up to permeate the cells.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I don't know. If you put dish detergent in it, you put a hose on it after that, you might have bubbles.
Yeah, I wouldn't go anywhere near dish detergent with frames. That's
No.
just me though.
Well, you can use that when you're just cleaning frames themselves, not comb.
Yeah.
It
No,
won't hurt.
no, he's talking about penetrating the cells.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
wouldn't
it's
put,
like
I don't put that in there like that. I don't want that soap in the cell walls or anything.
No.
Mhm.
And Country Roads, which is Jacob out West
Jacob.
Virginia, I let them. What I do is I have a couple nuke boxes sitting there, and I'll put 5 frames in that nuke box, and then I'll take it over across the parking lot here next to the shed, set that thing up, and let the frames are up and down like that, and let
Yep.
that air go through them, and the sun during the daytime hits it, and I've left them out there a couple of days and all, or I've also had where it was going to rain and I went out there and it been out there for 8 or 10 hours for the day and they were fine. What I do, I just, I put right now, I don't have any, I've got brood frames in the freezers right now, just because I'm building other hives back up and I will be taking the brood frames back out and, putting them in the hives. And I had one new queen where I had pulled about 5 frames of just solid bee bread and pollen frames out of that hive where they just wasn't any good for nothing. It was just pollen bound big time. And I had those frames that I had washed either on the first or second batch. And I brought, I don't know, 5 or 10 frames out there in boxes. And I just dropped them in there. And I put that one queen in there that wasn't laying and she didn't do anything with them. And I pinched her and dropped that new queen in where I reduced the box. I think I reduced the box down to either one medium box or maybe just 2 boxes. And she's laying like champ. But as far as, people talk about the bleach, and I says, well, what do you think pool water is? Pool water chlorine is chlorine bleach.
Mhm.
And bleach, household bleach, is a derivative of making chlorine. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Talking about frames, there's a guy in the club that told me a couple weeks ago, hey, I got a box of Formic Pro here if you want it. And he said, I bought it last year, so I don't know how old it is or how, if it's still good or not.
And I think
I
it's
said,
probably
all right, well, I'll just come by and take a look. And he's only got a couple of hives. Well, I looked at the box and it said 10/25, so October of 25. And I thought, well, I'll take it anyway. And what I'm gonna try on a couple of boxes is fumigating my frames, my comb with that, because there was a study done out of either Texas A&M or University of Texas where they did that with formic acid, and it cleaned up the wax, or theoretically cleaned up the wax. So I'm going to try it. I'm not going to use it on a regular hive because it's probably, the kick is probably pretty much out of it, but I'll leave it in
No,
there.
I had them where they were a little bit old, and instead of, when you open up the satchel and you got that tissue paper around them. New ones are kind of dryish,
Yeah.
on the tissue paper that's wrapped around them, and older ones are more sappy. They're real gooey. They're kind of gooey like, and I throw them on there, and they seem to work fine. They weren't gooey. What I'm getting at is that the tissue paper was a lot wetter. I threw them on the hive because I was trying to get rid of them. I mean, I had new ones and old ones, and I'm like, all right, let's put all the old ones on first, get rid of them, and then whatever else I needed to finish it out. Yeah, DC. I mean, you can save the pollen frames and stuff like that, and bee bread. I don't really get too much bee bread frames, but mostly pollen. But I have so much. I've already did 48 frames of pollen frames. I've washed. And last year I threw away in a dumpster 80 some frames. And now some of these frames that I did this year, one side was beautiful comb, the other side, the wax moth got a hold of it and just chewed the pieces out of it.
Yeah.
And now that's where I took it out here, and I took my hive tool and I scraped that off. Now, that's why I didn't do it last year. I found that if there's pollen in there, pollen is like cement. If you take comb, you can push the comb off, that wax off, and re-wax, no problem at all. But you hit that spot, it's that big around, it's solid pollen. It's like, and I had to cut it off layer by layer to get it down to the plastic.
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt.
And I had about 4 or 5 frames that were chewed up really bad, and I cut all that garbage off, and I put them in the freezer for safekeeping. And then this winter I've got burrcomb that I took off the hive, so they had all that honey in there where the bees sucked all the honey out. And then I think I had a bucket and a half of burrcomb from the apricot treatment. That's because my shims are too big. And I put that in a wax melter there. I had really nice, beautiful white wax ready to re-wax my frames with that. In the meantime, while my brother was on vacation, a couple weeks ago, I made little 1-inch shims for my apricot for next year. And then some of I'm going to go through most of my lids all have a 3/8 inch rim around it. And most of my inner covers, explain it to you, where there's I've seen some inner covers where they're perfectly flat across the bottom on the rim, and there's like a little indentation on the top side. Or I've had inner covers where you had a rim and there's like 1/8 of an inch rise on the top and the bottom. And then I add 3/8 to that, and that gives you, enough room in there. I actually did it by accident. I think I put a 35 grams of apricot in there, nice rim, and I don't need any extension rim on that hive at all. So I'm going to try to make sure all my inner covers have enough space that I don't even have to put, that extra piece of equipment on there. But
Charlie, I was going to pick at you about your smoker. For somebody that don't hardly ever use a smoker, when you was using that electric one the other day, man, you was pouring that smoke to him. I was saying, Charlie, stop.
What I had is burrcomb, and those bees would not go down because they were like last year. I tilted up my honey boxes, and I had fumigated them with fume board. And then I took my little Milwaukee blower and blew them bees out, but they were like magnets. They went out in midair and right back to that honey. They were not leaving that honey. And that's kind of the way there was 2 or 3 of those hives that had all that massive amount of burrcomb on there. But I think I've, between not even using it, yeah, there's a lot of bees in there. But between either not using a shim and actually putting a rim around making sure that I got a thick rim around my inner covers, not real thick, but enough, just enough so that the apron guard, I don't need to put any extra rims. And I also made, like I say, 1-inch rims if I need it. But the smoker, I went out this past weekend, and the things that I normally do, like, oh, I want to move the bees here down so I can put a bee bite on instead of laying that pound patty right on top of the bees. It works fine. It does have a 10 or 11 second shut off timer. I talked to Michael about that. And I just filled out some stuff today. He's sending me, I think, Todd, you've used it. He has another formula stuff instead of the vanilla veil.
Mm-hmm.
And then hopefully he read my message at the bottom that I would like to be able to demonstrate that new front cap that makes a straight stream. I think for me that will really be will help instead of having that kind of disperse right out of the machine. It's more focused in straight stream, as I call it. But I mean, like I say, this past weekend I used my smoker and I just went zip, zip, zip a little bit, to get them out of the way and put the bee bite patty on there, and it worked just fine. And then actually he says, on the instruction manual, I said, that thing came with an instruction manual. And I went over here to my box that I bought, and sure enough, there's an instruction manual in there. And on the back of that thing, there's 4 little LED lights. Yeah. And there's a light code that tells you thing. And I don't know what happened. I tried to use it and it wouldn't blow smoke after it was laying there. Yep. And it had 2 lights flashing, and I don't know whether they were on the ends or they were like one with one in the middle and one over here off to the left, off to the right. Because I finally looked at my manual with all them light diagrams, and I'm like, did that thing get overheated or something? Or because it was laying up on top of the hives and it was hot that day with a lot of sun. So what did you find, Todd? Did you figure anything out with that?
That happened to me this weekend on Saturday morning, and I hadn't used it since the prior weekend. And I take the canister off or the the fuel thing, and I lay it upside down. And so anyway, when I got out to the bees, I put it together. Hadn't used it, and I started walking out there, and I hit the trigger, and the fan's going, but no smoke is going. And I kept, on and off, and I thought, well, maybe the contacts are kind of gooped up or something. So I cleaned those off, put it back on. It still didn't fire up, and then I just said, oh, what the heck with it? And I just held my finger on there, and it took about 30 seconds, and it finally started going again.
Well, I had finished up my work. I really didn't need much, smoke. And I was getting in the truck, and I'm like, I just pulled the trigger after it had sat for a while. And maybe it was in the cab where it's out of the direct sunlight because it was hot or something. And it fired right off.
Huh. So are there any cleaning instructions that you get with it? Is any part of it like the nozzle you have to clean or anything like that?
No, he did mention you might want to wipe off those contacts between the fuel can or whatever you want to call it, and the fan or the body of the gun itself. And I did that, but it didn't do anything for me until I held down the trigger for, like I said, 30 seconds, and it fired up. It took a while, but it worked.
I'm just wondering.
And I still haven't. I've used that thing.
On the contacts.
What's that?
I'm wondering if it might have been a little dust or something on the contacts.
Mine were a little wet, but it didn't. After I cleaned them off, it still didn't work. But I'll tell you one thing. I have used that thing for, I've had it for over a month now, and I've used it a lot. It hasn't even thought about the battery getting low. I mean, it's just
I
going.
hadn't lit a smoker since I got mine. That's
Yeah.
all I've used when
Me too.
driving boxes.
Me too.
Yeah.
Hey Todd, how many bottles of those small bottles have you gone through?
I've only I bought 2 and I've gone through half of the first one.
Okay.
I burned.
Well, Charlie
I bought
probably
two-
burned 2 bottles.
I bought 2 bottles. I went
Oh,
and burned.
good.
I went through 1 bottle so far.
Yeah, we have 2 bottles. We burned through about 1 3/4, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
just
wow.
one thing it was I got to looking at the tank on that thing and it was low, and I went over here to my neighbor, the young guy that's over there in the Middle East, and I helped his dad treat his bees with apricot, show him what to do and all that stuff. And I was going to use it over there. I'm like, no, and I took my regular smoker over there, and it worked fine for that. And I had filled it up, took about half of the other bottle, and I guess I pulled at least half of it out of it and filled the tank up. I was wondering whether the tank gets too low, and if you don't have it tipped just right, whether that heating element gets exposed,
Yeah.
and it might have a safety reaction there. So I said, you know what, I better fill that up and keep it encapsulated in fuel.
Yeah. I thought about that too.
Right after I got mine, I heard him talking about the leak, that some people may have. So I've been just every now and then just to put a little bit in there. I hadn't filled mine up. I just put a little small squirt in there if I don't see it a little bit in there.
Yeah.
I haven't had really any issues with it leaking.
I've been keeping mine upside
Like I
down,
said, I don't fill it
stored
up.
in the truck.
That stuff
And that's
goes a
been
long way.
That's what I do. I pull the battery out, which is just that stick battery, that Milwaukee stick battery. And I have actually a 10-pound bee bite box in there with a little hand towel. And like you say, I turn it upside down where the handle's sticking up and the other thing is in the opposite direction, like he says. And I don't really see any leakage. I mean, the knot where the smoke comes out there, it might be occasionally you'll see a droplet on there, but I'm thinking maybe that's just coming from the smoke coming out, and maybe it's forming something right there a little bit, but it really
I've experienced the nozzle leaking a little bit, not profusely, but it's been a little bit. But you really don't need it to leak much because we understand that those bottles don't have much in them,
Yeah.
So leaking a little bit is kind of a lot, but he's actively working on it, and we kind of expected that there could be some minor issues.
Well, I think you said that, Tom. Oh no, I think it was Brian that said, it's a Kickstarter product, let's say, and there's always going to be some, there's going to be a fork in the road somewhere. So
that's right.
It's just minor adjustments.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. And I've given him honest feedback along the way and said, hey, this is what I've noticed, this, that, and the other. And he's, again, just being honest with the feedback. Mostly it's been good. He asked about, sent out questionnaires and things of that nature saying, hey, would you like a different formula? How does it do with the best aggressive bees? And so he's actively asking the right questions to understand. Which I can appreciate. And, Todd, like you just said, it's a Kickstarter program. If you go into it thinking that you're not going to have a single problem, you probably don't understand the idea of what that is. So
that's why you're not paying the full price.
That's right. Yeah, we've used it quite a bit because it's handy. When I go out in the bee yard, now we used to light a smoker. I don't always use it in colonies. I don't use it unless I have to, but I have it lit, So I might light it and barely use it at all, which is fine. But the little electronic one's been handy for doing little stuff. And now if you have bees that are getting pretty wound up, you need a real smoker. This does fairly well, but if you have aggressive bees, the actual smoker, I've noticed tends to do a little bit better.
Well, the good thing with the real smoker is it's sitting there simmering the whole time. Working for you. You can hang it on the side of that.
If you can keep it lit.
Yeah.
And that's my problem is I get to working bees and I forget I gotten to the point where half the time the stupid smoker is went out on me, and that's why I just started working bees without any smoke at all. It just went out of my mind. I'm like, I'm just keep on working, take my finger and push the bees out of the way and hook and do this and do that. Now, like I had some of them bees this past weekend where, you know, the whole top was just full of bees. And I wanted to move them out of the way to put that bee bite patty on there or whatever. Well, I just reach over here on the other hive and grab my little electric smoker and bzzz, like that, you know, about 5 seconds worth. I'm done, you know, and that's the only time I'm using it. You know, it's always ready to go. But like,
I'm like Joe, I carry my torch with me. I relight mine from the side if it goes out, but
I did that and burn a hole right through that sucker too.
Yeah.
I never have burned a hole. Mine's got a wrinkle in it, but it don't have a hole. But
I've seen some of them have
But,
somebody put like a
that
pipe
that
on
bee
the side.
smoker is just like a barbecue grill. Just about time you're through working the bees, it's smoking right. Same thing with
Yeah,
the grill.
it's hot enough to cook on then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I don't particularly care for. But
I've watched them when I got through keeping bees. I've watched that thing sitting out there on the toolbox, sitting there just smoking for hours, just puffing.
Yep.
yeah,
Well,
I mean,
I gotta get moving, gentlemen. I got a bee club board meeting on Zoom here in about 5 minutes. So
all right, Todd. Well,
Todd, thanks for coming in, buddy. Are
Yeah.
you on Thursday night late this week?
no, next week.
Next week. Okay.
Well, let me get the date for you. It'll be the 27th on my channel, a week from this Thursday.
Okay.
Special guest star that everybody knows. So.
Me again, Joey.
Well, I haven't. You know what? I'll spill the beans now. I haven't told the boss Tom that you're going to be on the show on the 20 whatever day. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, you haven't told me either.
I think you just got informed.
Yeah,
I believe I did.
Actually, Tom, no, not yet, but I have plans. So,
Cool.
but you know, there's another. What's that?
I said looking forward to it.
Yeah, there's another guy that everybody knows. So actually, it's a good topic too. I don't want to spill the beans yet. I'll wait till the invite goes, or when I post it on on YouTube.
Well, tell us what the topic is at least. What's the topic?
Late summer splits.
beekeeping.
Yeah, late summer splits, which can be tricky sometimes. So,
So, Todd, with your the water, when your pellets you put, how many pellets do you put in that water?
you know what? I haven't thought about it yet because I haven't done it. But
well, that's going to be more of a sanitizer in it.
yeah, well, yeah, I'll probably put
10.
No. A little goes a long way. If I was 2 or 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do the math. I'll let you know.
All right. Very good.
But sorry, everybody. Me and Charlie are talking in code.
Yeah, we got to talk code.
I'm offended.
Talk to Zach. Say, the coast.
I
is
haven't
clear.
seen him lately. I'll have to find out. So.
This guy over here has been ghosting us. We're trying to get an MOU signed with Fresno State and use a lot of their on-campus orchards and stuff like that. So he's in charge of the whole program. He's an entomologist, but he's been absent for a while. We don't know what's going on. So I'll be talking about it tonight in the board meeting. So.
All right, very good.
All right, guys. I will talk to you later.
Todd.
Everyone have a good week.
Yeah, you too, Todd. Thank you.
Later, Todd.
See you later.
Wow. That was a 40-minute discussion about that little
Smoker.
smoker.
Like I say, I still like mine. I don't really have too much of a leakage problem, and it does work. The only complaint I have is when I'm really trying to blow the bees, smoke them down, I would like to have it run for at least 30 seconds instead of 11. But Michael said it's due to heat factors and safety things and whatever.
Yeah.
on the I have to agree with Joe or like Tom, I guess it was about using the real smoke. Is that if you got really a testy hive and you really need some superpower, I'll say that the old regular smoke machine is much better. A smoker,
Yeah.
as far as pine needles go. Yeah, for me, like you say, if I'm just going to be in there and I just need to push them down for a few seconds, it works great. It's convenient and all that. It's a very convenient machine. And I know Michael's sending me a vial of this new stuff, and I think he's sending me this the tip to make it more condensed in a straight stream. Try to do some experimentation for him
Mm-hmm.
and that kind
Yeah,
of
he
stuff.
sent me a bottle of some stuff too. I haven't tried it yet. I've just been using the vanilla because I think if I remember correctly, he said don't mix them, and I just keep the one stuff in there.
Well,
The
that's
vanilla.
where he needs to say. I was thinking about that today too. The same thing, and get this stupid camera to go. And
The
I
have to
oh, maybe
clean
you ought to
the
send me a second
reservoir
tank.
out.
Second tank to put the two different brands in. You know.
Mhm. Yeah, at
What'd you
some
say,
point,
Joe?
whenever he has them available and gets them squared away, I'll probably order a second tank for mine as well, just in case there's a failure. Or, I mean, I've dropped it a couple times, not on hard concrete or anything, but when that happens, sometimes when it hits right, the tank will separate from the gun, which seems to make sense. It's not a big deal because they're magnetic. You just set it back up there, and the magnets pull it back into the gun itself is basically a trigger and a fan. That's all it is.
That's all it is.
I guess it
Now,
sends
Joe, you
current.
were saying you never charged your battery. You got one of them big batteries on there, or one of them little stick batteries? I think it
I
was
got
you.
the bigger battery. It's
Okay.
not a real big battery, but
Well, mine's just a regular straight stick, as I call it. It
yeah,
just slides
mine's
in
the
there.
next
Mine doesn't have a foot on it or anything like that. It works. I've charged it a couple times. A lot of times I charge because I don't want
Well,
to.
I think it was Todd. I don't know who said that, but I've charged mine a couple of times, but it hasn't really run down with me. I just stick it on there, knowing I'm gonna go out in the bee yard or something,
Yeah.
on there to make sure it's topped off.
Yep. So
But I'm impressed with the little tool. It does
I
its
like
job.
I like the convenience of it. Like I say, I put the darn smoker in and the smoker fuel bucket in my pickup truck to go over to Blake's house that helped his father. And I think that was the first time it's been in my truck since I've gotten that gun. And a lot of times I don't even use it while I'm out in the bee yard. I mean, I just don't need to. That's the whole thing about this electric smoker is that I just don't use a lot of smoke a lot of times.
Yeah, it's kind of
And
nice.
I find the smoke riles the bees up. Not so much on this. I have to say the vanilla doesn't quite give them. They don't get the buzz and carrying on. So we'll see what happens. So anyway,
Are you guys doing any planning for next year at all yet? Making any plans, making any purchases, making any things of that nature?
as far as equipment or whatever, or
Equipment, treatments, anything and everything.
for me, I mean, I've got my first phase of treatments, which is AprilGuard on and done,
Mm-hmm.
and I've had some queen issues here lately, in which I'm starting to tell myself and teach myself, I guess you might say, that that's beekeeping. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
Bob Benny says, you can have a brand new fresh queen and then she might fail in 3 months later. And
Oh,
I've
yeah.
seen that this year. And it's like,
Absolutely.
I always thought, what did I do? And it's not what I do. Maybe the bees didn't like her after a while. And you can buy queens from wherever and they will, there's no guarantee that it's a crapshoot whether they're going to work out for you or not.
Yeah.
And I think the only thing that I'm thinking is for next year, when it comes to queen rearing, I will raise enough to replace all my queens in my hives. And then I want to maybe have an additional 5 nukes of my own queens on that back mating rack to where when he comes to like now, this late September or something like that, and I have a failure, like I got one nuke out there right now it's failed for some reason. And that way I can go over there, grab that queen out of that box or take that whole nuke out of there and just drop it into that spot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but that's what I'm learning is it seems like if you got 20 honey production hives and you want to keep a minimum of 20 production hives running, then you better have 25 of them, you know, because there's always a problem child there someplace.
Sure.
It seems like, but I'm trying to also get my queens. Hopefully it'll prove, you know, as like I said, beekeeping is an experiment. It never quits. So I've been the last 2 years working on my queens, understanding that, hey, I need to replace them every year. This year I learned how to replace them in June. I got the hands-on experience by just doing it myself and having them 2 framers in the back air, which I would have loved to have 3 frames or maybe 4 frames, but let them queens go in there, hatch out, build up their own little small hive, then run over here to your front row production hives, pull that queen out on a frame, put her over here in a separation box, and then take all them 3 frames or 4 frames and just drop everything in. And them frames are full of brood, capped, uncapped, you know, big larvae. And it's like Doolittle said, you know, in 5 minutes you can requeen the hive with a fresh queen, and she'll change the direction of that hive. And she's got enough brood pheromone, her bees pheromone, and her pheromone in there that she'll take over that hive as, you know, the number one person, number one bee. That's kind of what I learned this year. I like a system. I'm going to do this, and this. And this is how I'm going to do it. I know exactly how I'm going to do it and have it, you know, follow through. And that's what I've developed this year. And then next year I want to do the same thing, but I want more backup hives for later, for queen failure 3 months down the road. If I'm doing it in June and here it is July, August, it's been 2 months and I've got a few failures already. And you know, maybe a September failure or something like that, but I have queens I can count on.
Sure.
And that's,
I think it was late June, early July. We had made up 6 3-frame mating nukes, and I just kind of let them roll in that. We fed them a little bit. I didn't overly feed them to push them out of that box. The goal was just to use them to keep queens kind of in there and let them lay, but not overstimulate them. Didn't need them to do anything spectacular. And I think I've got two of those left that I haven't plugged in. But what I did is I come along one that was still robust and not good. And I'm like, okay, no big deal. So I just plug it in there and walk away. We've recently done a couple of combines. We're at a couple of small colonies. And I'm like, you know, just trying to, I just don't want to spend a lot of effort, a lot of energy, and a lot of money feeding and propping up hives that are just not robust right now. I just don't see the benefit. It's kind of like me trying to queen rear right now and make queens. I don't, like, for me, 70% take would not be a good or acceptable number. If I can get 95%,
I don't even think you'll get that.
Yeah, right. That could be being optimistic.
That'd be like, I would think 40 to 50% this time of year, depending on whether you talk about dragonflies around here and things like that. Well, I mean, I'm not overly close to water, but I still have ponds and stuff like that. I do have some dragonflies, but I got one guy that was on that other chat that is in that other Pennsylvania club, and he's raised 50 to 60 queens for the club, and that club's that's why I joined it years ago, because it was kind of like on the forefront of everybody else about actually raising their own queens for the club, which I thought that was wonderful. And 10 years ago, nobody did that, you know, and they were doing stuff like that. I thought that was excellent. And this guy here, they were talking, I was watching the video of their last meeting, and same thing. You got folks that they were trying to get people interested in queen rearing and grafting and stuff like that. One guy built some 2-frame mating boxes like I did 10 years ago. And they were like, well, can you overwinter that? I'm like, people, it's like the guy said, it's a tool. You're thinking about this whole queen operation thing in a wrong context. It's a tool of getting just her mated. It isn't another hive. It's just a mating box.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're
You know
trying
what, Charlie, if you don't end up using all of them, let's say you built 10% of your operation, you created some whatever solstice queens, whatever you want to call them, late season queens, and you're holding on to them in a 2-framer, 3-framer, 5-framer. And you get closer to the end of the season, you're like, all my hives are good. Or you've used up the ones that you don't need.
I got plenty of 5-frame nuke boxes. All I got to do is I said, well, if you're in a 2-framer and I don't need anything up here, I'll just dump you in a 5-frame and hopefully you'll get through the winter. Or
well, that you could do that. Or you could sell them
say,
all.
hey, you got a queen I can buy, and I'll say, yeah.
People are always asking me, and I only bring them in certain times, and we'll sell off some. And so, you know, I mean, and I'm actually due to get probably a dozen, 15 of them from my buddy that's down in North Florida. Probably when I'm down there in September, I told him, I said, hey, I'm going to come down to the apiary. And I think he's going to let me inseminate a queen while we're down there, which is going to be pretty exciting. And we'll bring a few queens back with us. And I'll probably keep a few, probably sell a few, you know. So people are always looking.
I hadn't seen a lot of drones flying around in my yards the last couple of weeks.
All right. Well, it's a little after 10.
Yep. So my stupid keyboard is cutting out on me. I'm trying to answer Roy. So no, we're not going to have a booth at Nobby this year. We're going to Georgia, West Virginia, Virginia, and EMBA. So it's just.
Hold on, you said Georgia. We'll list those off again.
Georgia, West Virginia, Virginia, and EMBA.
I'll be at 2 of the 4.
Yep.
I think Melissa's going to let me come to the EMBA this year, so you all get to see me there.
I'll be there. So
Joey? Joey, you coming?
Landing on it the other way.
Cool. Well, see, I can go this way, so let's just do this. So everybody in this group out here, there.
It's after 10 o'clock. Clay was right. He said, well, you were here at 8. I was actually on here before 8. So, yep, it's been a long evening. It's been a long day. So everybody, it's a good chat tonight. Don't forget to hit the like button. You all heard Todd Thursday night. He is not on this week. Next week, it's on his channel. So Thursday night is going to be Keith. Friday night is Charlie. Saturday night is Joey. You are going to have a chat Saturday night, right?
Landing on it.
You giving anything away?
Probably not.
Okay.
So
he gave something away and I wasn't there to get it.
Yeah, he gave a bee brush away. He gave a bee flicker away.
Yeah.
I got you.
So y'all have a great week. I'll see you somewhere during the week. And be careful out there. Good night.
See y'all. Bye.